Hi everyone, I'm Krylios, Team Rayceen Productions MC and producer. And today joining me, of course, is the legendary Rayceen Pendarvis.
Salutations, everyone. Today I'm here with 2020 candidate.
And Wilcox.
How are you today? And tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
Okay, I will. I'm very pleased to be joined with you today. I am a former school board member. I was actually elected in Ward 2 just before the control board back in the mid-90s. I'm a longtime member of the Statehood Green Party. And the Statehood Party, was formed back in the 1970s with Hilda Mason and some of those longtime statehood advocates that everyone knows. And then we became the Statehood Green Party in the 1990s and took on a broader agenda of progressive issues like environmental issues, affordable housing, and other issues of that kind. And I'm also a lawyer, and I've always done legal services work such as landlord-tenant and public interest work.
Awesome, thank you. So, let the viewers know, why are you running this year?
Right. Well, the Statehood Green Party, we are kind of small, but we have a loud voice in DC politics, I think, in terms of progressive issues. We did, as I said, have some council members at one point. We've also had some school board members. So we try to maintain our viability in DC politics. So I'm running to help us maintain our ballot status, but also to have that voice for statehood and for progressive issues in this campaign.
Awesome, awesome. That is cool. So, what would you say are your top 3 issues that you want to tackle?
Right. Well, obviously, statehood is always important for us, and of course, everyone supports statehood now. But we have the history of always being the statehood party, going back to those founding fathers. So that's always an important issue. Second is affordable housing and gentrification. Obviously, the lack of affordable housing and trying to maintain housing before it deteriorates or is easy to be flipped and so forth. So the city, I think, needs to put more money into preserving housing, financing projects and so forth, so we don't lose that housing. Then we also look at issues like public health and equity. The COVID crisis has showed us again that we need more health care in the neighborhoods of our city. The Statehood Party members were always supporting a public hospital. We didn't want DC General to close across the river. So obviously we welcome a new hospital going up over there, and I think our Unity healthcare is fairly good, but we still can do better in terms of public health. So I think those are our 3 issues. I would also mention really quickly criminal justice, since I am a lawyer, and we support, the NEAR Act, which says that the DC police need to be accountable to the community for the stops they're making and their involvement in the community.
Definitely, definitely. So, we're in this pandemic. Tell me, how has this pandemic either revitalized or affected or impacted, the fight for statehood and DC statehood in general?
Right. Well, it's shown our weakness actually when, the mayor unfortunately was not able to get the same amount of money that states have, even though we have the same population as some states. And we're directly impacted in terms of having federal workers come here to work. So we should have had the same funding for our COVID response as Maryland and Virginia did. But, we've also gotten some resources from the federal government. I think they sent some testing labs here and so forth. But it just shows that we're in a vulnerable position, not having that full status of statehood. So, regardless of whether we would elect Democrats or, who we would elect to Congress, DC residents are tax-paying citizens and we deserve full statehood.
Definitely, definitely. And I'm sure Rayceen, as a longtime Washingtonian, you would say the same. You would love for your vote.
I feel your passion. I feel your passion, and that's so important, especially now more than ever.
Of course, of course. So, let our viewers know, how can they support your campaign? How can they follow you? How can they do all of that?
Right, absolutely. Well, I have a website, which I used when I ran for mayor, actually 2 years ago. I was a Statehood Green candidate, so it's Ann Wilcox for mayor, and I'm updating that for this current race. I'm also on Facebook, and the Statehood Green Party is on the web as well. So you can look at our pages there, and we have candidate pages. And if I could, real quick, I also wanted to mention, we obviously support trans rights and all forms of equality in terms of the community. I should have mentioned that earlier, in terms of making sure that crimes are prosecuted as hate crimes where that's appropriate, or making sure that there's not employment discrimination, and those types of issues. So obviously we're very, very supportive on that.
And
So,
that's so important. It's never too late to get that plug in. It's never too late. I believe I'm the queen of the shameless plug, and I tell people plug everything that is passionate to your heart and means a great deal to why you're running and why you want to fight for change. And that's so important.
Of course. And this was such a fun little chat. Thank you so much for joining us, Anne.
Thank you so much. I'm really pleased to see both of you.
Me too.
Thank you for
it was
doing
our pleasure. Thank you. Rayceen, take us out.
Okay.
Yeah. And most of all, thank you for being here.
Yeah.
And thank our viewers for watching.